So I'm in my garden and I'm harvesting some garden huckleberries to make some jam and syrup with. And I wanted to teach you a little bit on how to know when they're ready to harvest. I find it is very difficult to discern between an unripe and a ripe huckleberry. The differences are very subtle, okay? As you can see here on this little stem, we have some that are green still, which of course are unripe, but all the other ones, as they get darker, they kind of turn from like a purplish blue to a deep indigo before they turn really, really, truly black. And at this point, they are a little bit squishy. The unripe ones are more firm. And this is also another good indicator. The young stems are bright green, where they attach to the main branch, whereas on a more mature, they will actually start to turn colors here. These anthocyanins actually go into the stem, and then the stem dries, and they turn very dark. So a dark stem, really dark berries that are a little bit squishy is what you're looking for. One more thing that you will notice is that the young berries, like this, and these two especially, they are more matte finished. So you can see this one right here is more matte finished, while this one and this one are getting more shiny. The differences are subtle, but they are there. The more you get familiar with this plant, the easier it will be to distinguish between the two. Now, huckleberries are a very interesting plant. If you go to eat a fresh huckleberry, they taste like nothing. They don't taste good, they don't taste bad, they just taste like nothing. If you get a rotten one on your finger, it smells like a rotten potato. They are in the nightshade family, which potatoes, tomatoes, peppers, tomatillos, they're all in the nightshade family. But when these go rotten, they smell so bad, just like a rotten potato. And so these are not good for fresh eating, but they are really good cooked. I've been making jams and syrups with them, and it's delicious. You just cook them with a bunch of sugar and acid, so like citrus juice. I've been throwing lemon juice in there, and it is amazingly delicious. Amazingly delicious. And these berries, I also grow them for medicinal purposes. These are the darkest fruits. The only darker fruit I can grow in my area is the black currant. And why is that important? Because the dark color of these foods are created by anthocyanins. Anthocyanins are an antioxidant that your body uses to prevent certain viruses from taking a stronghold in your body. They also help combat free radicals, which are what turn into cancer cells, and so it's a good form of free radical prevention, cancer prevention. They are good for your heart. They're good for your circulatory system. They're good for your immune system. They are very good for your body all around. And so I dehydrate some, and I throw a few dehydrated huckleberries into my tea every night. I freeze a bunch, and you can use them at a later date to make jams, jellies, pies, cobblers, whatever. They are excellent to add to a bumbleberry jam, a bumbleberry cobbler, you know. So if you have blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, throw some huckleberries in there too. Okay? Make yourself a bumbleberry pie, a bumbleberry jam. They are excellent cooked. They are nasty. They are not good raw, but they are delicious cooked. The really cool thing about these plants is that they are also an excellent trap crop. Take a look at this. The leaves on these plants are ate up by flea beetles, but guess what isn't? My tomatoes directly behind. The flea beetles come and eat these up. They prefer the huckleberry to my peppers. They prefer the huckleberry to tomatoes. They prefer the huckleberries to the ground cherries and the tomatillos. They prefer these to anything else. And even if they were to decimate all of the foliage on these plants, you still get the berries. They're not interested in the berries. So you still get a crop out of it as well. They are considered a caning type of plant. They do grow a main stalk and they send off long spindly branches. So you can still grow like lettuces underneath them. You can still, I've been growing onions underneath them, as well as a lot of weeds. But you can still do a crop that would do well in partial shade underneath them. And I like to plant a few along my tomato trellis to keep the pests off the tomatoes and onto the huckleberries. And then I still get a really bountiful huckleberry harvest at the end of the season. I do offer most of the seeds that I grow in my garden in my Etsy shop. This is me, Bottom View Farm. My name is Chris, and if I can help you out with any of your seed needs, let me know. I am in the Midwest, and so a lot of the things that I grow are going to be well acclimated to the Midwest. I've been growing a lot of the things that I have for sale for several years now. I grow several tomato varieties, Malabar spinach, huckleberries, melons. As you can see, Kajari is my top seller. I also have, as you can see right here, soap nuts and wool dryer balls. I like to live a very clean lifestyle, and I like to offer those options that I have access to in my shop as well. So if I can help you out, let me know. And I really am trying to sell you on these huckleberries. They're great. Look at these, and super prolific. Super, super prolific.